let's go back to the capital city in El Duncan. Hi, El.
Hi, Matt. Women's college basketball loading up for what we believe will be a banner season, starting with Angel Reese and LSU. They're coming off their first national title in program history, and they got even better this season, adding Louisville's leading scorer, Haley Van Lith, through the transfer portal, and Anissa Morrow on her way as well. Much more on that ahead. Also, a hungry UConn team ranked second in the preseason poll after they failed to reach the Final Four last season for the first time in 14 years. We've got the healthy return of Paige Beckers and AZ Fudd, which should help their effort to get back there. Iowa's expectations have certainly never been higher after reaching the national championship game last year behind the heroics of Caitlin Clark. She posted the highest point total in a single NCAA tournament ever, male or female. And then, of course, there is South Carolina, which lost 5 of their top 6 scorers from last year's team that reached the Final Four. The Gamecocks start their season in Paris against Notre Dame in 6 days. First time in history that a women's basketball regular season game will be played in Paris. But before they take off, in less than 24 hours from now, they were kind enough to open up the gym here for us. You see live pictures from an open access all practice. The fams are in the building. It's Halloween, and despite that, they said, we're going to trick or treat with our girls because that's where we want to be, to send them off in style. And we are now joined courtside by the one and only Dawn Staley and Debbie Antonelli, who is going into her 36th season in this space. You guys are both Hall of Famers and stewards of the game. And Donna, just like, you're going to go to Paris and open up the season. Like, how do you receive that?
You know when you know how the NBA, NFL, they take their teams overseas and play a regular season game. And I always thought, why couldn't we do it? And then what do you know? We're doing it. I think it's great. I think it's super educational. It is a business trip. We want to win a game against Notre Dame, but the experience. We're talking about student-athlete experience. We try to do that right here in our home country, in our home state. But when you're able to give young people an experience like this, like, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know, meaning we don't know what we're going to experience. So it's all very new to all of us, but I know we're going to have a good time.
It's going to be incredible.
Dawn, as a player, you've been all over the world. As a coach, you've been all over the world. You've won gold medal after gold medal, and yet you continue to put a product on the floor here that will challenge and compete every year for the national championship. How do you keep the resolve going and the motivation to be able to keep it at a high level?
It is. I'm drawing the challenges. And every year, no matter who you have, there's a challenge out there in front of you. And the challenge is always to get back to the Final Four, to win a national championship, and to do it with, we had the freshies for 4 years. Now we get a whole different new group. And the challenge is to stay and play at a high level and put a product on the floor that our fans can be proud of, but also put belief in these players that waited. They waited a long time to get their chance, and I do think it's a challenge for them to be on every day in practice because they hadn't been be able to be on all the time, and it takes on a huge challenge for them. So we got to keep them there, keep them in a space in which they can't have a letdown because it's all unfamiliar territory to them.
Yeah. You've done this before, though, right? You had to replace a generational talent in Asia Wilson. You had to do the same thing when it comes to Aaliyah Boston, we just mentioned. You had 5 players go to the WNBA. So for you, what's the biggest challenge of sort of resetting?
The biggest challenge is to don't lose sight of it. This team is this team. I don't compare it to any other team because they're making their mark every day in practice. Like this past summer, I was like, ooh. Because they didn't get it. They don't really understand the dynamic of being on, to being leaders vocally, leaders by examples, leaders off the floor, because they were followers for as long as they've been college student athletes. So now it's their turn. So the challenge is to get them there, and I truly love that about what I do every day is to move young people off of what they think they can do to onto something that they're doing, and it's like clockwork. It is second nature to them. So that is my challenge, to get them to say, hey, I'm not thinking about last year. I'm not thinking about I rode the bench. I'm thinking about I am the woman right now. I got to be on for our team, and it's truly great to see the transformation of our players.
We got now, right? We got now.
Dawn, when you look at what the staples of your program have been, great defense, playing inside out, what's different about this group, those that are getting their chance and the new ones that are here?
Well, until like our forward position is a special position for us. It's like our point forward. Like everything runs through that. Asia Wilson did it. Aaliyah Boston did it. Although people thought she was just a center, she wasn't. She was like our point forward. We have young ones now, so they don't quite get it. So we got to probably lean a little bit more on our guard play. And I think it's a great mix. Like Camilla's going to be our go-to. We got to go inside to her. But if they treat her like they treated Aaliyah Boston, we got to be ready to lock low, shoot that basketball. I do think our outside shooting is a lot better than it has been, and we're giving them the green light to do that, to just play basketball. Take what the defense gives you. If it's a three in transition, knock it down. Knock it down. But they're so hungry. They're so hungry to want to play well, and I think this is a group that you can expect the unexpected, because although they have us highly ranked, I don't really think they believe that. I think that's a little bit of residual from what we were able to do in previous seasons, but we'll see. They're going to fight. Okay, they're executing, they're understanding how it is to prep to play high-level basketball.
And we're going to see some of that as we will be lucky enough coming up here within the hour, go on court with Dawn as she runs through her practice really quickly, because you're about to go to France as we send it back to SportsCenter. Do you know any French? Have you brushed up on any?
Je faim. That means I'm hungry.
Oh, okay. I have one for you. You ready?
Okay.
Je suis un marchand de rêve. Do you know what that means?
No.
I am a dream merchant.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
see, it's perfect
That's
for you,
good.
Dawn.
I can't repeat it, though. I'll work on it.
We'll work on it later. Much more here, Matt, as we come to you live, all access from Colonial Life Arena here as the South Carolina women's basketball program gets ready to go to Paris.